seems that at this point, the biggest barrier that I see out there is really the uncertainty in the market. Any other issues can always be crossed by price, and people can price all kinds of factors into their transactions. When there's such uncertainty in the market, that's a bridge that can't be crossed, and nobody knows how to price uncertainty.
Yeah, and I think that the uncertainty which we saw when we were talking to people, the bankers last year and during this year, was not just economic uncertainty, but it's more fundamental than that. It's that they're saying that if the politicians can't get their act together and come up with a clear strategy which they're going to take forward, then until that happens, then they're not going to believe any of the economic figures they're seeing anyway. And with the US, I mean, what sort of impact do you think the US election is going to have on the certainty levels?
You know, I think it's a good point. The whole, if you trace uncertainty from the beginning of the financial crisis in 2007, you see there an economic uncertainty, and it has evolved into the political uncertainty that you reference. And so no matter what it is, it still creates the same bottom line result, which is people don't know what they're doing. And certainly elections coming up, be it in the US or otherwise, are, you know, having an impact, but that's more of a local impact. And that's something that, you know, in the United States you go through every 4 years, and every country you go through at some
but we're seeing
period
it
of time.
in China, Germany, and in a number of places as well. But I think that in a more granular sense, as lawyers, what we're seeing also in the responses we're getting to questions when we ask them is around regulatory barriers as well are considered to be real still, both in Europe and increasingly in Asia. Although obviously, you know, you can get over those with good lawyers, but those are genuinely issues which people see preventing them doing quick deals, and a lot of the deals we're seeing are slowing up, particularly in places like China, due to the regulatory issues which people face.
Right, and I think those barriers that you see in different countries and the timing, coupled with really a lot of the economic uncertainties, is creating a difficulty on financing. So even companies with very, very strong balance sheets, companies, whether they have a lot of cash or whether their earnings are strong and their own security is strong, if they're not sure where things are going, they're still looking for traditional means of financing those transactions. And the inability of so many strong financial institutions in the world, really, to provide the traditional transactional financing has really put a damper on a lot of transactions.
Yeah, and I think that it works both ways. At what time do you sell? And we've seen that for a number of months, years now. People just don't know at what time they should be selling the assets, even if they want ultimately strategically to do that. They're still timing. The timing is difficult.
Right, strategic sellers don't know if this is a good moment to sell in terms of getting price, or this is a really bad time in terms of getting price, again, given the uncertainty for them. And therefore buyers don't know what to pay, whether, you know, it's a good time to buy or it's a good time to sell.